Well, we had an incredible tour. I mean, there just isn't enough words to describe what a wonderful experience it was. We ended up doing 6 performances in 5 days. We did 3 service projects, and we have had a lot of fun together. And so we accomplished our goals of building community as a choir and spending a lot of time with one another, caring for one another, worshiping together, praying together, crying together, all of those really wonderful things that brought us all together as a group. We sang in a lot of different environments in a lot of great places. And what was wonderful about the trip was that the kids picked up very quickly on why it was that we were doing what we were doing. So yes, we were bringing beautiful music, but we were bringing beautiful music for very specific purposes. So, for example, we sang at the Veterans Restoration Quarters, which is a safe haven for homeless veterans. And the kids understood very quickly that what we were doing was more than just singing a concert. We were bringing dignity to a group of people that deserve that dignity but haven't felt it. And when we sang at the Nashville Rescue Mission for 100 homeless men, they understood that what we were doing was bringing beauty into the lives of these people, that we were bringing our best for a group of people who aren't used to getting people's best. We were giving our undivided attention to a group of people that were used to feeling marginalized or cast off. And there's power there. And the kids understood that, and they saw it, and they understood why that was valuable. When you get a bunch of people together that make music together, it forms a kind of community that's analogous to the kind of community that Christ wants us to have with one another. A community where we all understand that we are a part of something that's bigger than ourselves. So on this trip, nobody was fighting over singing solos. Nobody was fighting over standing in the front row. Nobody was fighting for the spotlight. Every one of those kids understood that they had a role to play in a bigger picture. One body, one voice. So when I would put up my hands and I would give a cue and the choir would all come in together, the choir would breathe together and start together and sing together and emote together. And they understood that there were certain times in which they needed to let another voice part be a bit louder than them because of the importance of what it was that they were doing. And to reach that level of music making was really, really special. Because I think it exemplifies the kind of community that Christ wants us to be. We're all different. We all have different backgrounds, different ideologies. We have different gifts that we've been given, different experience levels. But when we are together singing and making music together, we are united in purpose. And we understand that, like it says in Romans 12, we belong to one another. It was just an incredible experience to see. I also think it was incredible to see our volunteers, our adult chaperones who came on the trip, because what the adult chaperones did was they put on the blue shirts just like the kids. They participated in everything just like the kids. They sang, they lugged risers, they slept on a church floor. They did everything that the kids were doing. And I think that that was a really important model, because they could have said, well, I'm an adult and so I'm more important, but they didn't do that. They humbled themselves. They sat at the foot of the table. They wanted to be with the kids and be with them at their level. And consequently, beautiful relationship was formed between the adults and the kids and all of us together. To watch the growth of some of our kids was really remarkable. Our seniors, Adam Pearson and Alan Bagley, led a beautiful and intimate and earnest worship service with all of the kids on Saturday night. And then we all did a laying on of hands with our seniors. And to hear underclassmen praying for our seniors was just a really, really, really special moment. And to watch the kids work so hard to get every single detail right, the thoughtful questions that they asked, wanting to do everything the best that they possibly could, not for themselves and their own glory, but for the glory of Jesus Christ, and to bring beauty and excellence to everybody that they sang for, regardless of background. Inspiring. I can't think of another word to describe that experience. One of the things that I talked about in the homecoming concert, and this is not my line, this is Mark Ray's line, but it's so good. Mark Ray talks about there's 2 things that we want our kids to know in youth music. The first is that they are loved, and the second is that they are called. It's very simple. They are loved by their Heavenly Father. They're loved before they know what that means. They're loved by their Lord before anyone even tells them that, before they accept it, before they believe it. The Lord loves them and cares for them. And they're loved by their church, and they're loved by their choir. And then the other thing we want them to know is that they're called, because the Lord is ready to use our youth right now, not at some point in the future. And whatever it is that our kids know and whatever skills it is that our kids have, the Lord is ready to use those things right away. That's what we want our kids to know. They are loved and that they are called. That's true for our youth. That's true for all of us. I feel very blessed that I got to be on a trip with these wonderful teenagers, because it reminds me of that our world is in really good hands. We have wonderful kids at this church. We have wonderful kids in this world. They are ready to lead, and it just fills you with a lot of hope and confidence about the future to get to spend time with these wonderful people.